Hi everyone. Let's see
We are
how this
ex-
rolls.
we're excited to chat with all of you today. We have a lot of questions that have already been submitted. Please feel free to chat additional questions at us. And for those of you that are joining us on Riverside, which we're using, feel free to jump in and ask to join us on video or on audio if you want to throw in your thoughts. But we are live across multiple platforms right now, which is exciting.
And if anybody would like to cheers, cheers. Hello.
Cheers.
I have rosé. She has LaCroix.
Yes. And we are live on multiple places, so that's exciting.
So fun.
Okay, so fun. Happy to be here with everyone today. So, hopefully,
Yay.
you all are enjoying the Primal of Blood and Bone as much as we are. But we have a lot of questions and a lot to discuss today. So, I think we'll go ahead and jump in. All right, so first up, thank you to everyone who already submitted questions to us. Like we said, if you have more, feel free to ask us. We want to hear all of them. But
Yes.
let's get started with one of the big ones. Okay, what is going on with the Fates? Are they keeping Castile, Kieran, and Poppy apart? And is
Oh, this
that
fucking fates.
because the fucking Fates, right? Is
Goddamn
that
fates.
because, oh, and our least favorite one, Liren?
No.
We don't love him.
Mm-mm.
So, with that, are they trying to keep Castile, Poppy, and Kieran apart on purpose because of this new pantheon that Poppy has created?
I think yes. I think they're
Yes.
absolutely trying to keep them apart. I mean, it was so cryptic when they were talking about, like if you have to let go of your heartmate to save the world, like that's like a breadcrumb right there, meaning that yes, you guys are going to have to separate because not only is this like something that was never supposed to happen, but because it's happening, everything else is unknown and the world's going to blow up as we know it. So I think they're just scared shitless for themselves to be like, we don't know what's happening, and so we can't control anything. So keep the unknown apart until we can figure shit out. Is my
I
two
don't
cents.
like that. I mean, I don't disagree, but I also don't like that.
I don't love it.
I,
I didn't say I liked it. I definitely don't like it.
yeah, especially because I think for a couple of reasons, and as Tracy just pointed out, she agrees. She thinks Thorn was way too giddy to keep Cass away from Poppy. Completely agree
And
with
why
that.
is that? Yes.
Why
Like
is that?
Thorn, what's going on with you and Poppy here, buddy? Like, you're too happy about that. Oh great.
I also think we've learned many times that the fates can't be trusted, right? I think Sarah has said that, trust none of them. Even Holland, who I think we sometimes feel like is maybe the best fate of them all. But I do think that there is some motivation that they're trying to do something specifically around Castile and Poppy. I don't know if they care as much about Kieran.
Yeah, poor Kieran. I feel like he gets the shaft a lot on some of this stuff. They're just like,
Right?
you're just like the pretty wolf boy, like, no big
Uh,
deal. But I think
like,
he's
you'll
the
be
one
fine.
that we're gonna have to look out for the most because he's the most unsuspecting.
He is. And we don't know what his powers are. I don't know if he does either.
Mm-mm. I don't think he knows. I don't think he
Okay,
knows.
so let's talk about this hierarchy of fates. How many are there, including the ancients on the continents? What is up with them? I wish we knew. So I think at a minimum, we know there are six fates. There are more ancients than that, but there's at least six. And so we also have this theory for those of you who have not read Fall of Ruin and Wrath, fair warning, we're going to give
Oof.
a little theory about what we think could be going on there too. So close your ears if you don't want to hear it. But one of the things that we hear in the Fall of Ruin and Wrath is there were seven continents or seven swaths of land in the continents. And we believe
Yeah.
the Fall of Ruin and Wrath takes place after the Blood and Ash timeline. And so one of the things that we've theorized is what if those kind of land masses were actually tied to fates? And now
Much
there are
like
less.
how, yes, much like how, like the gods were tied to courts.
Exactly.
These ancients and fates are tied to those specific areas that they have to go to ground in.
Correct. And some of them died.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully Lyrian.
Hopefully.
Just like throwing that out there. And perhaps Aiden as well. Would love that.
Mhm.
So, in terms of how many are on the continents, I think there's a lot more than we think. Like, I don't think it's just a handful. Like, my guess is we're talking like a couple dozen between the continents in Solus and in Atlantia. Because that's the other thing. We've only seen them awaken in the continents. We've not, they're supposedly kind of still asleep in specifically Atlantia and Solus. So I'm very, very curious is are they really asleep? Are they awakened but not coming out of the ground yet? And what does that mean?
Here's another thought, too.
Yes.
We also have gods of the ocean. Hello, Scion.
Oh God.
Could there be fates in the water?
Like Siren?
Sorry, yeah, Siren. Like with all the different Sirens down there.
Probably. I don't.
I mean, or is Scion just like the only one? Like, is this where we kind of go into kind of like King Triton and his daughters who like are all like the princesses of like the different oceans, you know? Like,
Yes.
could there be fates of the different bodies of water as well?
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, there's no reason why we couldn't have that if we go with our theory of also having it be based on like the continents, like the landmass, like the courts, etc. Like,
That's true. So
who
one question was
knows?
just asked, why would two ancients duke it out, awaken in New York City and try and duke it out? So one of the things that we've learned from the Fall of Ruin and Wrath, which we are covering on the podcast, the episode drops next week. We literally just recorded it today. But we know that when the ancients awaken, specifically in the continents, half of them believe that they should be nice to mortals. The other half don't.
Correct.
And so that happens when this great war happens, which is kind of what we see Poppy pulled to in the continents when all the destruction starts. So we believe it's because they have differing opinions about what should happen to the world based on how mortals have treated the land.
Yes. Or maybe when they awakened, they can recognize each other in a way and they know they are not friends and they're enemies. Like, what if they've just been waiting like centuries for this moment to happen? And they're just like, fucking finally, it's my neighbor Bob. I'm gonna fucking get him. And it's like, that guy is just now awakened. I'm like slightly more and I'm gonna get him before he like gets stronger. Possibly. But yeah, it's like
Possibly.
what if they're on opposite ends of like, this guy is the one that who hates mortals and wants death and destruction everywhere. And the one that just awakened that's starting to rise up is like, wait a second, I like them. Let's chill for a second. And he's like, nah, I'm gonna take you out now.
Very true. Very, very possible.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of my
Because they
favorite,
did even mention that was weird. They're like,
they
why
did.
is this happening?
It shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't.
It's concerning, I think is the words that they use. It's concerning.
Yes. That is
There's,
concerning.
and I'm like, there's a lot of things about that situation that were concerning.
Many, many things concerning, yes.
Okay, so one of my favorite questions, and we have a really hot take on it. So if you've not listened to our episodes, buckle up, Buttercup, because there's been a lot of, I don't know if I'd say hate, strong opinions about Castile's behavior in this book and why he behaves this way. And I think there's numerous people who have said, like, he's an asshole, he's being difficult, he's very grumpy. And I don't disagree with those characterizations of his behavior at some points in the book. However, a hill I will die on very strongly, and I know Megan has heard this like at nauseum, is the fact that one, if you've been paying attention, specifically starting with the War of Two Queens, where we got some of his POV, and a Soul of Ash and Blood, we have seen so many times how emotionally tormented this man is and how he has so much deep rooted trauma of all the things that have happened to him that he has never dealt with nor healed from.
Mm-mm.
So who he is the Dark One. That's who he became, right? After he was captured and then in his quest originally to get the maiden. And the thing about it that I think we forget is he didn't stop being the Dark One. He just changed his focus when he fell in love with Poppy.
Mm-hmm.
At the core of who he is, the hurt and anger is all still there.
Yeah, he never went to therapy for that.
No. And he needs like centuries of therapy for all he's been through.
Yeah. And Leanne just pointed out, and I agree with this, he's very, very hurt, and his character is very much still developing into this new era of his past trauma and now the love of his life. He's experienced that, chapter in his life, but now losing everything, what he believes is losing, like that hurt on top of all the other trauma. It's like trauma is building on top and not getting like broken down at all or like figured out. So yeah, like his
Agreed.
character is developing into even more of this angsty young, like not young because he's not young, but like like pretty much just like an angst, and now he's going into his just like emo side. I feel like.
Yeah, well, and I think part of it is like it was super intentional for us to dislike him
Hmm.
because we're seeing it as like he used to be so kind and sweet to Poppy. And I'm like, that was all Poppy's POV. In A Soul of Ash
Hmm.
and Blood, like his POV was a lot more, I would say, dark than anything else. And
Yeah.
so I don't know if it's he's changing who he is as much as what he's doing right now is showing us the unfettered like version of himself. And there's been so many breadcrumbs to get us to this point. So I'm really excited to see where he goes because I think this has been where he's destined to be this entire time. The only thing good about him, and he says this so many times in A Soul of Ash and Blood and The Primal Blood and Bone, the only thing good about him is Poppy. And I
Hmm.
think we forget that.
Yeah. Once you take that away, or he thinks it's taken away, he's just gonna go bad again. And I
Yes.
think Sarah points out here, it's right, that Jennifer Armentrout wants us to dislike him on purpose because, yeah, I think he's going to have like a late stage redemption arc, something like that down the line. So it's like first we love him, and then we want to fuck him, and then we kind of hate him a little bit, and now we're gonna really, really hate him just in time to love him again, hopefully.
I am like still in love with him.
I mean,
Like
I'm
so
still in
hardcore.
love.
I'm hardcore Castile. Like I'm just like you were right about everything in this book. No one listened to you.
I love him.
And
I just don't like his actions right now. He needs a timeout. That's
well,
what I think.
don't we all
I think
sometimes?
we all do. He needs a spanking.
Well, yes. Okay. So the other thing that people have pointed out is that Castile doesn't say I love you back to Poppy as much in this book as he does in the past. Like she'll say I love you and sometimes he's quiet, especially after he learns about the secret, but before she necessarily knows about it. And why is that? And I think a couple of reasons. I don't think his love for her has changed. I think he's just really, really hurt by
Hmm.
what she kept from him. Because there's this part where he says specifically about how she was like, she is his home, and he thought he was her home. But if she doesn't trust him, that isn't true. And that is probably like one of the most devastating lines and kind of passages in the book because it gets to the root of he thought someone good loved him and trusted him. And now he's questioning all of that. And that's really heartbreaking.
I think for him, the level of devastation is similar to like finding out that the person that you think is the love of your life like cheats on you. I would
Yes.
say that
Or
same
lies to you about something serious.
yes. So I would say like in that sense like cheating like emotionally, like I thought we were connected and we were one on one and we're not. And so now I have to reevaluate everything. So like he still loves her, but it's hard to say the words. Like when you're in a fight, like with your spouse maybe, and you're just like, I love you deep down, but I do not want to say that because I'm so fucking pissed off at you right now. Like,
I
I
love
think
you,
that's
but I
how he's
don't like
doing.
you right now.
Exactly.
I agree.
Exactly.
Also, someone just mentioned about Shay.
Mm.
Okay,
Oh, Shay.
so for those of you who are not as obsessed with this as the rest of us are, because we have questions, you can't tell us in A Soul of Ash and Blood that Poppy doesn't know the full truth about Shay, and Miss Willa can't say in Visions of Flesh and Blood that there's more to the story with Shay, but she can't see it, and then not tell us what it is.
Yeah. Right?
All like we need to know.
Mm-hmm.
I I mean, I get there's a lot going on in this book that we couldn't necessarily get all the answers, but like I need that desperately because I think it has something to do with how he's behaving now. I think he behaved like that when he found out about Shay's betrayal. Like
Yeah.
before, like right before he killed her.
Yeah. And maybe this is, bringing up a lot of those same, like, just, yeah, betrayal feelings for him. It's like, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. Even though obviously Poppy's not Shay, the history
There's something
repeating itself for him is traumatizing.
correct. And we know he killed her,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't
But Teddy,
necessarily know the details of it. I believe she's dead. So I don't
she's
think,
dead,
I think
dead.
she's like dead, dead.
I think
I
she's
think
dead,
she's dead,
dead. Okay.
dead. I
Yeah.
think she's dead, dead. However, I don't necessarily know if he drank her blood or not. And I think there
Oh.
could be something to that, right? Because we see specifically at the end of how he acts with Colas. And it just makes me wonder if this is all somehow tied to it. Like if he gets into this ruin and wrath rage when Shay betrayed him.
Mm-hmm.
And similar things that we see happening now actually happened back then.
Yeah.
So, great question. Why was Castile so upset with Kieran more than he was upset with Poppy? Who asked that of Kieran? That's a really great question. We might have differing opinions on this. Do you want to go first? Because for those of you that don't know, I'm currently on the I hate Kieran train. No, I strongly dislike Kieran in this book train.
I
Megan is
am
not.
still, I still love for Kieran. I think Kieran is just like caught up in the middle and trying to figure this out. So honestly, I think Castile's more upset with Kieran because, Kieran has been there for him longer and like he knows all the trauma about Shay. And so I think he knows why, like, I just feel like Kieran should understand more, like the reasoning behind like why Castile would be upset about this. And like, dude, like how I felt about how everything has happened with me with Shay, and you know how I feel about Poppy, and for you to kind of do an extra like double dagger in my back, I think that's why Castile is like losing his shit more about Kieran. Don't think it's right. I think Kieran is kind of getting a little bit of like nasty shade here. Do I think Kieran probably could have made better choices? Yes.
Ding ding
How,
ding.
however, I think Kieran did try to make it very clear that like you need to communicate with your wife. You need to talk to her. You need to ask her these questions. Leave me out of it. I'm just the messenger. Like don't shoot the messenger. But at the same time, that messenger has like carried all the baggage with him. So it's like,
Correct. So a couple things I would say on it. So in regards to Kieran, I do still love him. I just really dislike him right now in this book because he's been vague like throughout the series. But he could have, when Castile learned about this, instead of saying talk to your wife, who was coming out of stasis, was trying to leave the room, kill people, kill Reaver, like all kinds of crazy things. He could have said, okay, three quick things. Number one, she asked me while you were being held captive by his bitch. So you
yes,
were literally not available.
you're incapacitated.
You were incapacitated, right?
Yeah.
Um, two, I didn't want to do it.
Yeah. It's
Just to
not
be
like he was
clear.
jumping up and down being like, yeah, I want to do this thing for you. He's like,
Super not excited about this.
yeah.
Also, after I made this promise, then we went and got you from Wayfair Castle. You were not in great shape. Then we had to go get Malik. Then we had to go to the Bone Temple. There literally wasn't time to have this conversation. Don't forget the joining was in there as well. More important things had to occur. And then she
Yes.
went to stasis. So there, like, it wasn't like the
When,
top of the concerns. So it
yes.
wasn't like we were keeping it from you. We just literally thought that there were, I don't know, more pressing matters. Three, you should talk to Poppy. But like this
Yes.
wasn't her choosing me over you. I think the problem I have with Kieran, besides the fact he couldn't just say those basic things, was he knows Castile the best. He knows how his mind works. He knows how dark he can get because of his trauma. He saw that happening and didn't try and stop it. Instead, he would just say comments like, well, maybe you should think about why she asked me, not you. And I'm like, do not poke the cave cat. Like, right?
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
are
you're gonna
why
get
are we
bit.
doing this? You're gonna get bit and you're gonna deserve it. But I think that's part of the challenge with him is he could have just helped Castile and given him a little bit of information and be like, you should probably talk to Poppy about this, or like the three of us can talk about it because we are a threesome and however which way you want to take that in terms of specifically the secret and other things. So
Hmm.
that's my frustration with Kieran.
Yeah. The only defense I have on Kieran in that side is that there has been a lot of growth with Castile in
Yeah.
terms of he met Poppy and like how he's kind of changed and how he actually when Castile is with Poppy is very patient with her and like helps her like work through things and like figure things out and like wants her to figure it out on her own because again, if she's told certain things right in that moment, she's not going to take it well. So I think
That's
in
true.
that sense that's what Kieran is doing. He's like you need to figure this out along the way because if I just straight up like tell you this shit, you are not in the best mind like place in mind to like accept it, to hear me clearly.
Yeah.
I think he
Well,
also knows Castile well enough to know that he's not going to like be able to fully comprehend everything.
yeah.
Like even
Is
if
it
he
a
sat down and
betrayal?
said all that stuff, ooh,
Like I think that's the question because I think Castile feels betrayed by him, by Kieran specifically, more so than Poppy. I think he's hurt by Poppy. I think he feels betrayed by Kieran. Is it a betrayal? I know it's a hard one.
I don't know. I mean, it's like I see both sides. I'm gonna go with no. I
Okay.
still see the good in Kieran. I still think he had good intentions behind it.
Yeah,
Castile definitely says the words betrayed. Yeah.
he does. I think he
But
feels
but
betrayed.
I agree, Ashley, that I feel like Castile did not give Kieran even a chance. He just like dismissed him immediately and like didn't even try.
Well, I mean, first he attacked him.
I mean, yeah, he like
I
literally is like,
mean,
I'm gonna kill you. So, whoa, careful there.
careful
Very
there.
true. Very true.
Okay, so did Castile die when he was cut with the ancient bones and a soul of ash and blood? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think he
It's
was.
hard. So I think at that moment he was already like, advanced. So I think it just like nicked him, just a flesh wound, you
Just a
know?
flesh wound.
Just a bit of a flesh wound.
Yeah.
So I
I
don't think
think
he
there's
died, but I think it was enough of an infliction that that's why Poppy was like pulled out of stasis, you know?
So I think there's two things to think about tied to that is one, obviously he didn't die. I think who he is now was always in him,
Hmm.
or at least a part of that. And two, we have to remember too that in the War of Two Queens, when Colin uses the primal magic on Kieran and slices his arm, the way it's described is similar to a bone of an ancient. It was it was a white dagger that looked very similar. So it
Mm-hmm.
makes me also question, is it possible in that situation that Kieran also survived being nicked by an ancient bone too?
Mm-hmm. Is that a Linnea, would we say?
Right? We think that's the same thing in the Fall of Rune
Same
and Wrath
thing.
world. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So did getting nicked by an ancient bone cause Castile to activate ancient powers? Is Kieran going to need to do something similar in order to activate his powers? I
Perhaps.
perhaps I think Kieran needs to use his powers. Like, let's start there.
I think Kieran, yeah, I think he needs to get like pushed over the edge somehow to like it's like you have to push somebody over like a cliff to like make them actually fly, you know? Like he's not finding that he needs to like actually do or die, like go. And like I feel like this is like a what's it called? Like a Megatron, like what those things are. Transformer. He needs to
Yes,
finally just like burst into Transformer mode.
he
And
needs to
like
shadow step
he
and not
does
be
need a
whiny about
shadow
it.
step.
He's
Yeah.
just, you
Stop
guys,
being a little bitch.
yes, he's just whiny in this book, and he's not usually whiny. And so I think
Maybe he
that's
just
my,
needs some Dramamine. Maybe he just gets a little, he needs some Dramamine to help him shadow step. It's too much.
but he's not pregnant, so he doesn't get to say it makes him dizzy like Sarah did in the Flesh and
True.
Fire series.
True. But he just got really bad vertigo.
True. True, true,
Thank
true.
you, Sarah, for joining us.
Okay, next up. How did Castile become more powerful than his ancestors, and is he similar to Colas?
Wait, there was another question in here. Didn't Kieran shadow step to chase after Castile after his blowout?
Which blowout?
Yeah, which one?
Which
Was it
one? Like at the
the end end? I think he did. I think he finally kind of got through it, but I don't think he liked it.
I think I need him to use the ether and see
Yes.
like what he truly can do. We know he can heal people, but we don't know anything else he can do. And if we think about it, Sarah is very powerful as the true primal of life. If we believe that Kieran has some primal of life powers in him, which I think is what most people would say the current belief is, he should be able to do other things besides just heal people. What
Mm-hmm.
does that look like? And is he practicing and we just don't know it?
Yeah, because you don't really get anything in his POV.
And he's not really around for a lot of the book to know what he's doing. Okay, but is Castile more powerful than his ancestors? Is he like Colas?
He's starting to be like Colas, and I hate that journey for him.
Is he though?
I mean, there's definitely differences, of course, but
Yeah.
he is obsessed with Poppy, very similar to how Colas was obsessed with the I don't
Satoria?
know her name. Satoria. I was about to say Seraphine, and I was like, wait, no. I mean, he was, but not the same point. Yeah. He was obsessed with Satoria, but obviously Satoria was like, this is unrequited. Like, get the fuck away from me. I do not want to see you or be in love with you or anything. So, but there's very much like the same kind of like touch her and die kind of feelings. Like he's just like, I'm obsessed, I'm in love, I need to be with her. Like nothing come between us. But he grew, so that's where he's different. But the similarity in like the attachment and like the obsession, I feel like is similar. And then
Yeah, but
obviously
he
at the
loves her
end, but like that's exactly like that's a true love.
versus
Can he
Colas.
become, but can he become more powerful than his ancestors in this
I
way? I think
think he
yes.
I think he already is.
He
I think
already
he's the
is.
most powerful.
And I think that's why the fates are trying to interfere because they're like, oh shit, we fucked up. This is not supposed to happen. And now that it has, we're all screwed.
Yes. I you know what? Every time they try and prevent something from happening in the prophecy, they cause it to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, that is
Yep.
their own fault. The consequences of their actions. We're going to talk more
Oh,
about
well, well.
Castile,
Fun.
right? Because what exactly is he? Well, we know he is the
Besides a
primal,
sex god.
but right?
Yes, please.
But we know that he is the primal of death and destruction, like which the prophecy said.
Mm-hmm.
What all does that mean? We also know he's a Dominion primal. We believe he's also an ancient. We've actually believed for a long time, for many, many books, that he was always a primal god at least.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been fun to watch that kind of come to fruition. The other thing I think is important to think about is this theory that we have that's very unhinged. So bear with us.
I love a good
But
unhinged.
we've talked a lot about, or in the books, this true king of all the realms. And one of the things that is never said is who the true king of all the realms is. We have always just assumed it's Colas. Like that is what Jennifer Armentrout wants us to assume, that it's Colas. What if it's not?
What if there's someone worse?
Or what if it's Castile?
Yes.
Right? Because think about it. When they talk about him, they talk about they serve the true king of all the realms. He is awakened. So what
Mm-hmm.
if we believe that if there is another true king of the realms, that it is an ancient, which would fit Castile. He's always going to, he's the end of the prophecy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if this entire series has been misleading us to think that it's Colas when it never was because they don't say his name. And don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, when I thought of this, um, after reading the Primal Blood and Bone, I like went back multiple books to check because someone else might say, "Oh, Colas," but the person who says the true king of all the realms doesn't say Colas's name.
Mm-mm.
Whenever that's said, someone
Mm.
else may infer it, but
Yeah.
I think it might be Castile.
Yeah. But I don't think it's necessarily the name is Castile. Because I think it's like what happened with Serafina that nobody knew the queen's name. They just said the queen. And then once Poppy like realized what her name was and said it, that's when shit hit the fan. I think that's going to happen similarly here with Castile, where like it is the name of the ancient that is inside of Castile, that he has awakened as that. But we don't know what the ancient's name is. Like it's not Castile. I mean, it is Castile, but his name is not Castile. Could it be Ken? Ooh,
Yes. So this is
Ashley.
the other hill we want to. I want to.
Mm-hmm.
These are hills I want to
Yes.
die on, you guys.
We're gonna die on
I
these hills. Mm-hmm.
we so first of all, we've been saying for many books that Castile it was tied to Etis's line
Mm-hmm.
for a long time, and we got that confirmed in Visions of Flesh and Blood. Then we were secretly hoping that Etis actually died. I mean, not died, but
That
like
died.
he was reborn and he was Castillo because
Mm-hmm.
we have this feeling that there's something tied to this. And obviously he showed up in the Primal Blood and Bone, so that theory went out the window. But we still know that Etis made some sort of deal with the Fates. And we know that when Poppy makes one, he says to her, I hope it was worth it. Like, basically, that was not a wise choice, and I hope whatever you have done was worth it. We
You were
wonder,
unwise.
you were unwise. We wonder if he made a similar deal with for Ken's soul. And the reason is when he's fighting Ken in Born of Blood and Ash, he tells like Serafina and Nyktos to leave because they have to go ascend Layla, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so no one sees Ken die.
And I don't
At
believe
least,
anybody is dead until we see a dead, dead body. And even then, I'm like, his bitch came back. So
and we
who
know the
knows?
fates have said that Etis is problematic.
That is the nicest way to put that. He is problematic.
So so
Mm-hmm.
that's the question. Is Ken really dead? Like dead dead?
I don't think so.
If he is, so there's like a couple things. If he's not dead, when we say dead dead, like we're talking like he's
Can't come back.
can't come back, gone.
Mm-hmm.
His soul has been destroyed. Is
Yeah.
he dead and in the abyss, which is where he would I think should go?
Yes, he would not go to the good place.
No, he would not go to Arcadia. The problem with
No,
that is, does that mean that Colas controls his soul then? Because that's not a great situation for us now.
that's not
Or
good.
what I think is the more likely scenario is that Etis didn't want his brother to die because he talks a lot about how his brother used to be good,
Mm-hmm.
right? He was different. And we think part of that started to change when Ken's children died, which we were led to believe originally were Etis. So the question is, did he ask the fates to save Ken's soul? Because at this point in the book, he knew that a soul could be saved. He knew it could be reborn. He knew about Satoria. And is that Castile? Is that why Castile and Ken, I almost said it, Castile and Etis, when they first meet, Castile is like poking him. Like they don't know each other. Etis
Mm-hmm.
shows up to help Poppy, and Castile is super rude. Is
Mm-hmm.
that because they innately know who each other are? So,
Yeah. And they already have like a brotherly bond where they must just like bat heads all the
fight?
time. Yeah.
Yes.
Like my children. Fun times. So much fun.
Okay. Is Kieran Poppy's other heartmate?
Yes. I absolutely think so. I think we have been originally led to believe that you could only have one heartmate, but then there came a time where they were just like, you know what? Maybe there is more than one. Because at one point, I forget who it was, they said, oh, both of you? Like,
It's Reaver.
Reaver, yes. I love how, like, you know exactly where my mind is going. You're like, you know the name. And I'm like, this happened. And um, but yes. So I think her heart, she has, you're in three, if you will. Like, instead of having, like, the best friends, it's like best friends, just like the three heart pieces all together. So I do think that Kieran is part of this joined heartmate situation. And it is possible that, yeah, if that bond was broken between Castile and Poppy, is it now only between Kieran and Poppy?
So here's what we do now. Jennifer Armentrout has said that the heartmate bond is still connected between Castile and Poppy. She has confirmed that after the publication of this book. So we do know that.
Right. Do know that.
We do know that 100%. Or she could just be screwing with us. That's also very possible, but I don't think she is in this situation.
No.
I would have told you before this book that I thought all three of them were heartmates, but I don't now.
No.
I don't, because I don't think it has anything to do with like how Kieran feels towards Poppy. I do think he is romantically in love with Poppy, and I think that's part of the problem why there's so much tension between the three of them. It's because they've never really talked about anything after the joining about what this means going forward. And as many times as Kieran says he has no expectations, I think that man has lots of expectations or hopes and dreams of what this could look like. But I don't think they're actually heartmates.
I love that Ashley is also like, I'll die on that hill. It's a friends to lovers slow burn.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that could be. But also, yeah, Tracy agrees with you in that sense. And yeah, Kieran could definitely have his own heartmate out there. You know what I just thought of from the fall of Ruin and Wrath? Wrath and Ruin, Ruin and Wrath. You know how we have the Dominion, and then you have the Nikora, and then
Yes.
you have Niceroth? Those are three things.
Correct.
And you technically need all three
Yes.
to kind of be, yeah, your full strength of one. So, what if, and this is all assuming that people have now read that one as well. Sorry if you haven't. That originally wasn't the case. Like, I mean, obviously we have like the Cora situation with, Nyktos and Sarah. But, so maybe that's how it started. They found out like you could separate your Cora, and it's like, Seraphina helped him get it back. And that's why like there's kind of like that component too. But when you have all three of them together, the Dominion, the Nisseroth, and the Nikora, aka Castile, Kieran, and Poppy, all three of them all together, they are the most powerful thing in the world. So
Potentially.
what potentially, who knows? And this is very much just like a very unhinged thing. What if after the Great War and after whatever happens now between the three of them, that's when the separation of the things happen?
It's possible.
If that makes sense. I don't even know if that makes sense. It just kind of like went in there and now it came out, and
I get where you're going.
you get
I
where
don't
I'm
know.
going though, right? The three of them were
Yeah.
meant to be together, and now all three of them have to be separated.
Or Kieran could just talk.
Or Kieran could just, yes, that's true.
I just feel like if Kieran would just talk and share emotions and be
Okay,
honest.
now you sound like the girl from Mean Girls standing up and saying, if we could all just hold hands and rainbows
Well,
like we
that would
used
solve
to.
some problems.
She doesn't even go here.
Kieran does go here. He wants to
But
go
he does
there.
go here. Okay, that's Thorn popping out and going like, woo, hello.
Okay. So
Yeah, okay.
future-wise, I would have told you that I thought the happily ever after. I'm still assuming that we are getting a happily ever after at the end of this next book. But I would have told you that I thought that was between the three of them. I think it's going to be between Castile and Poppy only. I think there's plans for Kieran.
Okay. Okay. Maybe they ride off into the sunset and Kieran just is like still on the hunt for his own person.
Potentially,
Or,
yes.
or Wolven or Siren, whatever he's into.
I hope it's not a Siren.
I mean, hey, to each their own, I don't
But
know.
number one, he could start with sharing emotions.
Yes.
Okay. So, assuming for those of you who have not listened to our episode, another hill I want to die on is that Jadis is Cora. So,
Ah, yes.
with that assumption, why did Poppy not recognize her when Jadis became unentombed? And this is a question we've actually gotten numerous times. So, a couple of reasons. Number one, Jadis was in really, really rough shape. So she was very, very skinny. She had her horns cut off. She had claw marks all over her. And she is in her initially like Draken form. And then I think she does like kind of shift back. But think about someone who's very emancipated, looks horrible, has been treated poorly for who knows how long. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't think Poppy could have recognized her. Additionally, we know from that scene that Poppy sees the claw marks on her and thinks those look similar to mine, which for us is another clue that Jadis and Cora are the same person
Yeah.
because we know Cora was there the night of the attack in Lockswood. Two, is it kind of to kind of reinforce this, when Poppy sees Iris shift from a cave cat into his human form, when they get him out, she doesn't recognize him as Leopold either. And we know he's Leopold.
What if
So
they just kind of been glamored in some way?
it's possible. I just think that they are basically like skin and bones, and you wouldn't recognize anyone. They've not bathed for who knows how long. Their hair is really gross. They've been treated poorly prior to that point. So I think it's just like you're just not going to notice them. And you also have to remember
Mm-hmm.
this attack happened when Poppy was like, what, 6, 7?
Yeah, really
She
young.
was young. So even just like her ability to recognize them and remember them, I think is going to be clouded as well.
True. True. But yeah, for sure though, definitely believe that Jadis is Cora. When you said that the first time, my mind blew, and I was like, now I believe it. Now I'm on that. I'm on that train.
I hope we're not wrong on this one. I feel very strongly that it is, but who
Mm-hmm.
knows? Okay, so what's going on between Jadis and Reaver? I mean, we think that they're mates, or at
Mm-hmm.
least we're headed down that direction.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's exactly. There's a story there that we need to know. Because, like, last we saw Jadis and Reaver, they were just like two kids, like, kind of just like teasing each other, being like, ah,
Annoying each
whatever, get
other.
away from me. Yeah. Well, mainly Jadis annoying Reaver. Then being like, oh God, this girl again. But, as you age, as Drakens do, long, long time later, I think that turned into a relationship. And is he the reason why Jadis ended up in that situation? I
I
think,
I don't know because like she went with Iris, right? And
yeah,
we know that Reaver was asleep. Why would she go with Iris? I think there are multiple questions, but I think we do know from Reaver that Iris and Malik, they believe are like family.
yeah.
So I could see her just going with him. Do I think that they were in the best relationship when they first went to sleep in the Elysium? Probably not. Like I feel like something had to have happened.
Yeah, there's like maybe a falling out of some kind or just like
Yeah.
a big argument there.
The other thing I think is really important to remember too, just thinking about Jennifer Armentrout and how she, specifically the Flesh and Fire series, after A Fire in the Flesh and like Inborn of Blood and Ash too, after all of those things from like a sexual assault perspective happen to Sarah, she struggles really hard with like being with Nyktos, right? Like there are things that she feels uncomfortable doing. She's in her head a lot. And so it wouldn't surprise me, because I think if we continue on the path that Jadis is Cora, she was after Lockswood not going to be treated well.
Yeah.
Probably abused by the Ascended, similar to like what we know Castile was done while he was held captive. And so in that situation, seeing Reaver might actually be really painful for her
Yeah.
because of what like was taken from her and all the trauma that she experienced. So I think that's another thing that could be going on too, and why she had that such a strong reaction about going with him. Yes, I think definitely that she could be feeling shame too. That was a comment just right? About the things that happened to her that were not her fault at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Will Colas die?
God, I hope so.
God, I hope so.
Ugh.
I mean, he has to, right?
Right? There's no
Wouldn't
way
that be?
Colas. There's no way Colas ends up winning at the end of this.
Okay, I don't think he wins, but like, hear me out for a second. What if at the end of this, like, there's some redemption arc for him?
No!
Like, just,
Unacceptable.
but wouldn't that just be the funniest, like, way to flip all of, like, screw with all of us? If somehow he, like, sacrifices himself for, like, the
That
good
won't
of the
happen.
realms. I mean, I don't think he has it in him. I think there's no good left in him. But also, I just feel like
This
if I
feels like this feels like us being the little boy in The Princess Bride who is screaming like, "Who gets Humperdinck? Who?" And the
who
grandfather's like, "Nobody. He lives. He's fine." Like, he wins? God damn it.
I know
Inconceivable.
inconceivable. But what's funny about it is I could see like if you really wanted to mess with the fandom, that would be a
Oh,
great way to get us all up in arms.
I know.
Like he doesn't die. I don't actually I don't know if
He
I
needs
want.
to. Okay, so if he
Do we
does
want him
die,
to
who do you think
die
is going to kill him? Oh, hell yeah, I want him to die.
or do we want him to like be punished for eternity somehow?
Sent into the deep, deep abyss.
Yes, like I don't know if I want him to have like the
He
final
might
death.
like it, though. He might
Well,
be into
that's
that.
true. And is there anyone left in the abyss? Hasn't he let everyone out now?
Pretty much. I feel like. He let out the Kraken. He, put him in his
Oh,
own gilded cage for eternity.
that's what I'm talking about.
But he has to watch like Teletubbies or something on repeat.
God, can you imagine?
And he's not allowed to touch himself. Ooh.
Or
No
anyone.
glass dildos for you. No. That could happen. But if we do think somebody's going to kill him, what if it's Castile? What if he ends up being the one who gets to kill him?
I think Castiel's the one who will kill him.
Yeah. Because he doesn't want to turn into him. Ooh, but when he does kill him, what if he does become him?
Like the true primal of death. I don't think he will because I think he's bigger than the primal of death. I think there's like the true primal. Okay, so right now we know the true primal of life's here, and the other gods are kind of like right here. I
Yeah.
think the primal of death and destruction is above the true primal of life.
Ooh.
So I also have a lot of questions about exactly what happened when he drank Colus's blood at the
Yes.
end.
Yes. That's where I'm concerned of like, can Colas ever truly die? Because like, if Castile does, say hypothetically, like kill him, wouldn't he just be able to like his like spirit in some way like go into Castile right in that moment, much how like he did with Poppy?
I don't like that.
Yeah, like is he marked? Like exactly, is he marked now? Can he do it? Just the whole drinking
So
the blood thing made that connection possible, and so now I'm like, that's a detail I'm not gonna forget.
So we've talked about this before. I think there is two possibilities. Possibility one is we know that sorry, I'm trying to throw up my mouth. That Colas has drank Poppy and Satoria's blood numerous times, super inappropriately.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that that has happened. We also know
Yeah.
that Castile has drank from Poppy. So that makes me question, is there prior to the end of the Primal Blood and Bone, was there a connection between Colas and Castile? Then
Oh, yeah, by
when Castile
proxy.
by proxy,
By the
right?
tan is it by the tangent theory? What was it
Yes.
in
Like
algebra?
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon is like what I'm thinking
Yeah.
here. And
Oh
Kieran
yes,
has
and Kieran. Yes.
during the joining, right?
Good
So
actually.
then we also know that at the end of the Primal Blood and Bone, Castile drank a lot from him.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean that Colas can manipulate them, can get in them somehow? I think it's all very possible. But here's the
Possible.
question now. Can Castile do the same?
Possibly.
Did
Has he tapped into that power yet?
has he tapped into
Or
power?
can Kieran do it? Is that the untapped power that Kieran has not figured out yet? But
Kieran
Kieran
needs
hasn't
to
drank from
figure things.
Colas. Yeah, he needs to figure his own shit out. Yeah, true.
He needs to figure his own shit out. Starting with
Yeah.
opening his mouth.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say is there Do we know if when Castile drank from Colas, how much he drank? Because it was like we got the impression it was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Did
I mean,
Colas
I
fall
feel like
as the
all
third
you
primal of
need.
death?
Oh, ooh. Because all you
Because
really need is a drop to like have that. I'm gonna say
connection.
joining, but obviously not. Yeah, connection. You just need a drop. But I was assuming that too. Like, did Colas fall enough for Nyctos to then rise
Or could it have been
finally,
someone else?
or it could have been somebody
Because
else?
why do we assume that it's only going to be Niktos? We assumed that in Born in Blood Nash when he was the only person who had the Primal of Death embers in him. We know that that's not the case anymore.
Yeah. So then is it Poppy? But it
Or
kind of
is
got
it,
removed. Or is it
or,
Castile?
or we have Iris and Malik.
Yeah, yeah.
So
One of them could.
just,
But are they in a good enough state to do it?
no, I mean, it could kill them. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
like
exactly.
good
Yeah,
things would
yeah.
happen. And we do know
No.
that Iris is at least alive in the next book. We have
Yeah.
gotten enough teasers of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's keep this moving along. Okay. Okay, let's just say, where do we think Thorn is the father of Ates?
Yes,
Yes, I think so.
I think so too. I think
Because
he
there's
is.
just too much familiarity with Thorn, like looking at Castile and like looking also at Ates. Like he just knows.
And Poppy.
And Poppy, he's just like, hmm, this feels familiar. And then obviously, well, we know later in like the Fall of Ruin and Wrath that like Thorn doesn't believe he has any children. But just so you remember that.
But here's the question. Would the Thorn is, we believe, right, one of the first ancients.
Mm-hmm.
So is it possible that they don't see the primals they created as children?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about like how it's been described that the first primals were created, I wonder if they wouldn't necessarily consider those children because they gave them they created them from like a drop of their power, right? So I think it's a little
Yeah.
bit different. But I do think Thorn is Attis' father,
Yeah.
which means Attis has not been really honest about a lot of shit, you guys.
Oh, no, of course not. Ates
He
is not Anastas.
No, he is not. He needs to start talking to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Cass probably would be the one to figure out how to project his essence first, for sure. I mean, I think that's what
That
the Ravens are in that sense,
right?
which again would lead to him being related to Ates, being related to Thorn.
Thorn, especially Thorn,
Ates is quite elusive. Agreed.
and quite dreamy.
And quite dreamy. Mm-hmm.
Okay, is Sarah still in timeout? It depends on how bad of a thing she did.
Yeah.
So, our my guess is at the end of the Primal Blood and Bone, she was still in timeout. I don't think she came to rescue Poppy. I know there's been some speculation of was she with Nyktos to come rescue her. We don't necessarily think so. Do I think that she is still in timeout when the next book starts? Not throughout most of the book. I do think she is allowed to come out of the timeout that she's put in.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
the real question that we need to ask, though, tied to this, is Sarah still the Queen of the Gods? Because we know that the Elysium was warded by the Fates, because they're cowards, to prevent anyone from not,
Yeah.
that who wasn't born in the Elysium from getting in. And we know Colas was born in the mortal realm.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Queen of the Gods. So how did Poppy get in?
Yep.
Just throwing that out there. We also know that Jennifer Armentrout specifically says in the blurb for this book, primals, plural, will fall and new ones will rise. To our knowledge, we saw one primal fall, which
Mm-hmm.
was Rahar.
Yeah.
That was the obvious one. So
Yeah.
we believe another primal has fallen. Doesn't mean that they're dead,
Yeah.
but they have fallen by the end of the book.
Yeah, I think that's a very strategic wording too. Like,
Yes,
falling does not connotate death in this sense.
correct.
It just means, yeah, you're no longer the top of the hierarchy, Like, you've had your time, now you're retired. You've fallen. You can go to timeout or
Once
wherever.
again, I feel like this timeout doesn't
Can
sound so
I
bad.
can I
Like this
go? It sounds
stasis,
great.
it sounds kind of nice.
Oh, I love it. Be so nice. Be so nice. One more thing about Ates. What is the deal that we think that Ates makes with the Fates? Like, do you think it was
Kinsole
the whole like console, like specifically, like, but
specifically.
how? And also, if he is like specifically, yeah, his soul, like,
So we know that the Fates had the Star Diamond originally, so they knew
mhm,
how to capture a soul. There's also lots of other things that they know that they do not share. So it would not surprise me if they knew another way to do that and to ensure that it's reborn. I think
mhm,
the other reason why I believe that's the case and it's Kin's soul is because we know that Etty's messed with his bloodline. There is
yeah,
something specifically that he did that is said numerous times. We also know that he has a very, I would say, negative connotation when Elon's name is mentioned, who is his son, right?
yeah.
So that is interesting. Why do you feel negatively? And he specifically tells Castile that he's nothing like him, like Elon. So to me, that makes me wonder like one of two things. One, is Castile Ken reborn? Or is Elon potentially Ken reborn?
Either way, Kin is probably reborn.
I think so. And Elon is still alive,
Mm.
which I think is something we cannot overlook for the next book.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Okay, moving on. What roles will Sarah, Poppy, and Millicent play in the Throne of Bone and Ash? It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm going to still go out on the theory of I don't think now that the prophecy was necessarily referring to them in terms of first daughter, second daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I think again, like obviously we know like Poppy is the harbinger of it, so that part falls into play there. I'm just gonna review that really fast. Stars in the night. Yes. Two born of the same misdeeds, born of the same great and primal power in the mortal realm. First daughter with blood full of fire, fated for the once promised king. Second daughter, blood full of ash and ice, the other half of the future king. So yeah, it's like I still think that could be like the twins that Castile was referring to, like imagining in his head. But yeah, it's like where does that leave them? Where does that leave them? Well, I mean, in this case, Poppy is the mama of twins, Millicent is the auntie, and Sarah is the great grandma.
For those of you who
So
don't know, we strongly believe that Poppy and Castile are going to have twin girls. And
yeah,
we think it ties into this prophecy.
yeah, I think they are the first and second daughters
They will remake
because
the realms.
yeah, because it was almost too obvious, honestly, that first we were like, okay, Sarah is the second daughter. Or like, oh, Millicent was the first daughter, and then Poppy was the second daughter, and like that's how that one happened because it almost tied in too well, too perfectly.
Yes.
So I'm just kind of like knowing Jennifer Armentrout's way of writing now, how she wants to completely turn us around and flip us on our heads. That could be it. So the
Yes.
roles that they're gonna play, I mean, I think it's gonna be like making sure the world doesn't end and trying to keep Castile not going down to Crazy Town with Colas and figuring out whatever the hell is going on with Kieran and Malek and if Nyktos has now risen, if Sarah has fallen, if Poppy is now the queen of the gods.
Yes. Well, the other thing I
It's
would throw out there too is that I think it's important to remember that, like, from the perspective of Sarah, we know that she wants to protect Poppy. We also
mhm,
know that she stares at Castile a lot when she first meets him.
mhm,
And so I think she can sense his power. So part of one of the things that we've questioned a lot is why did someone not just take Castile into the Elysium?
Yes.
If Poppy can go with someone who was born in the Elysium, like Etis, why didn't Etis just take Castile? I know Castile was throwing a little baby man tantrum. I get that.
Yes, he was not in a good
But
place.
he was not in a great place. But don't you think it would have calmed him down if we said, we'll take you to go see Poppy?
Right? Yeah, it's like we can, you know what? You can FaceTime. We can open up a quick little like tear in the realm and
Pop
be
in the
like,
realm.
here she is. Check out your girl. Now, close it back up. You can see she's okay. Now, when you get your shit together, when you calm down, take some breaths, count to 10, and then you can go see her.
Or
Maybe that would have been helpful.
is Sarah keeping Poppy from Castile?
Oh, yeah. I mean, also because maybe she now is aware of the absolute destruction, as is in the name, of what will happen with them. But again, everything
So,
they do to try and prevent stuff only ensures that it's going to happen.
correct.
I
I
think that's
also,
like the life lesson here. It's like, you know what? What's going to happen is going to happen. If you try and prevent it, it's just going to make it worse. So just let the kids let the kids be who they are, you know?
the other thing I would say too is I feel like Millie is gonna be the fuck around and find out person. Like,
Ooh. I can't
like
wait for
just
that.
I cannot wait, and I literally cannot wait for more Millie because I just think she's utter perfection and hilarious. But I do feel like she's gonna be like poking the cave cat. I do think she's gonna do things to kind of like see what happens and then
Yeah.
just make some decisions. But she's one of my favorite characters, especially at the end of the book when she came in. And you just
She's
like
like
hear like
walking down, just
tears clacking.
she's like she's like Santa, but like sexy Santa. She's like, I brought you something. A
Here you
sack. Oh,
go.
fucking Callum. Hi. Merry
Thank you.
Christmas. Thank
And then
you.
I just love how she like stabs him again. She's like, I stab him this way because it, hurts
Yeah.
more. I'm just
Made me
like,
feel good.
yes,
I liked it that
I
way.
love her.
She's very stabby.
She's
It
very
runs in the
stabby.
family.
It's it's not her fault.
Hmm.
Okay. So why is it mentioned several times that Iris and Malik were born in the mortal realms? I think this is very specific because it will tell us who can actually fight and help in the mortal realms versus the Elysium. So we know that if you were born um, in the mortal realms, right, your power is different and you can have stronger powers there than you can if you were just born in the Elysium and vice versa, right? Like there is rules to that. So I do think that it's part of that to tell us like, can they help defeat Colas if Colas is in the mortal realm? Who can actually help Poppy?
Yeah.
So
Poor Poppy. I hope she's not alone. I mean,
I don't
Sarah
think she
did
will
say she
be.
can always, they'll find a way. But yeah, I think it's important to note that they are born there so that when shit does hit the fan, we know who is going to help you.
Yes. I mean, they just need to heal first.
I mean, it's minor inconvenience. Be fine.
All right. So let's talk about our favorite person column.
Bleh. Fucking Callum.
So I just, that's just how I refer to him. We hate him.
That's how he is.
So really strongly hated him throughout most of the series. And then
Yes.
probably around the Born of Blood and Ash timeline, we started questioning specifically, is there more to him?
Is he
What
just misunderstood?
it seems just, well, I mean, I
Uh,
still think he's an asshole.
I mean, yeah.
But is he playing like the long game? Is he really obsessed with Colas, wants all these horrible things to happen to his sister, and is really screwed up in the head? And I think there's a partial like yes to that. But then there's also this part of me that goes, is there more to the story? Because we've never gotten his POV.
Yeah.
We've only seen him antagonize Sarah. He's been, for the most part, respectful to Poppy. So my question is
I think
he,
that's because Poppy is Satori Reborn.
right, but does he have a plan in place?
Oh, yes. I think
And
so.
what is it? And is it to help Colas or is it to help end Colas? And I could go either way on it.
I could go either way. I'm going to go with, for now, it's to end Colas. Because I think he still, like, is in the guilt phase continuously over what happened to his sister. And that, like, he should have been there and none of this should have happened. And he has just been buddying up to the enemy. Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. That situation. It's just taken longer than he expected. He's like, "Ah, we should have been done with this thing fucking centuries ago. Like, oh, it's still going on."
Well, and he
But
also, I was saying, he
yeah,
also says, like, I think it's in Born in Blood and Ash that Colas didn't used to be this way. Like,
yes,
Colas used to be good. So I do
yeah,
think there were times where he treated Satoria when she was reborn better.
yes.
And then I think he slowly became worse.
Yeah, he's like, "Ooh, wait, no, maybe this guy, maybe he is bad and could do better." Slash, he needs to go.
Yeah.
Let me help you move out, sis.
So
By
does
move
he,
out, I mean like get her free.
yes. So does he recognize Papia Satoria? Yes.
Yeah.
We believe pretty strongly because I think when he meets her for the first time, he says it's an honor to meet you, which
Yes.
we don't think anything of because at that point in time, when that happens, which is what the Crown of Gilded Bones.
Yes. When with is bitch.
Yep.
Or no, not is bitch. Yes.
Yeah, he's with
Yes, he's
Isbitch.
is bitch. Yeah.
When they meet the first time, he doesn't. We don't know that Poppy is Satoria. Like we're not far
We
enough in
don't
Flesh
know.
and Fire story series, right? So
Yeah.
you kind of like disregard it, and when he says like it's an honor to meet you, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
just assumed, well, that's
Because he gave it to Satoria, or he gave Satoria's soul in this diamond to Isbitch. So that's how we know that he knows she has it. And
that
he
it was
even made
her.
so many comments about how it had to look like his sister, and that sister had the red hair and everything about her. And it's like,
And the
yes, that's
eyes.
my sister.
Yeah. Okay. Will new realms get created? And if so, by who?
Yes.
Okay.
But the path to creation is destruction.
That is true. I agree with that.
So, basically, the new realms will get created by doing like a Noah's Ark simulation, if you will. Everything must go except for a few, and those few will recreate the realm. Now, are those going to be good people or bad people?
Depends
Who's
on
going
what
to
you
go to
believe about
ground?
the fall of ruin and wrath, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So I think what we feel confident in knowing, right, is the continents are not recreated. That realm is not.
yes, yeah,
It is destroyed, but it still exists.
yes.
Does the mortal realm, or what we call the mortal realm with Solus and Atlantia and the Elysium still exist? That's a great question.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Or
we
are
already
those
know.
created
Yeah, we
new
already
ones?
know that itself has been recreated a few times.
Mhm.
I mean, the fact that like where Poppy grows up is called Solus, and we know that that area wasn't called Solus many, many years ago. I forget what they said it
But
was
was
called.
that recreated or just renamed?
Isn't that the same thing? Couldn't that be the same
I don't
thing
know.
in
See, this
somebody's
is where I
eyes?
think she plays on words because when I
Mm-hmm.
think in the like recreate the realms, I think like like Big Bang, we destroy a realm and a new one pops up, right?
A nuclear bomb goes off, everything is fresh again, and
Correct.
yes,
But I don't know if that's what is real,
yeah,
right? Like, or does she mean like there is a great change like we know heartmates can bring?
mm-hmm.
And that change kind of changes the realm and therefore like recreates it.
But
Like
again,
figuratively, not literally.
is bitch and Malek were heartmates, and
I
they recreated
know.
that realm that is now Solus.
I really didn't like that part. I really
I
did not want
know.
them to be heartmates.
Didn't want to root for them. It
I
is what
still
it
don't
is.
root for them.
No, oh no,
Speaking
God no.
of this bitch, is she really back? What's going on with her?
Or was she just a projection in a weird way? Because Colas can do that shit. Like, what if Colas just like inhabited her body and like brought her back to like fuck with Poppy?
I mean, it's
Because I'm sure
legitimately
that
anything's possible.
anything is possible at this point. I mean, yes, Donna said she smelled like death, but it's death Colas.
But Poppy said she smelled like roses.
Roses.
So I think back to the Hollies.
A wax projection. Yeah, perhaps. Yes.
We
From
know
Madame
that
Tussauds Museum.
she's just
Yeah.
like walking around.
Yeah.
We know from Lady Holly that no one dies anymore.
Yeah.
So we assume that Isbitch, and I think we know this from Sarah and Nyktos, that her soul is in the abyss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the question is, can Colas release souls in the abyss? And what would they look like? So that's, and can they be used to manipulate people? So that's what I think she is, which is
Yes.
hilarious because I remember at the end of the War of Two Queens, you and I are having this conversation. I was like, super crazy unhinged theory. Like, what if she's not really dead? What if she comes back? And I was like, that's too crazy. And then when it happened in this book, I lost it because I was like,
Like,
crap.
no.
Because
She's
in my
back.
other crazy
The bitch
unhinged
is
theory,
back.
the right, but not in a good way.
No.
But
Mm-mm.
she's also gone. So where is she too now?
Yeah. Is that what Sarah was doing? I know you had that theory at one point too.
Yes,
Oh,
that's possible. That
I
she
like
could have
this.
done something with Isbitch.
Yeah. I like this other thing that Ashley pointed out, semi-related unhinged theory. Delano is a victor who is on Mount Lotho in the Elysium waiting to be reborn.
God, I
I
hope
hope
so.
so.
I
I
hope
want
so.
Delano back.
I
He's so
know.
sweet.
Here's the only thing that makes me really worried and sad because I love the marshmallow. Like,
Hmm.
I cried when he died in the War of Two Queens, and then I was like, she surely won't kill him again. Yet here we
No,
are.
she did.
She did. Sh Jennifer Armentrout has said he's dead, dead. But let me clarify. She has said he's dead, dead, like Ian is dead, dead. And I was like, that was a very specific commentary. When you
What do you
say
mean?
dead, dead, like Ian, what do you mean? Is Ian really dead, dead? I mean, I think so. But theoretically, that would mean there's no way for him to come back.
Hmm. I
But
want
I don't know
Delano
what
back.
happens because we know that Victor was a victor and Victor died
Yeah.
and was dead, dead, but then he's still alive as a victor.
Also, I want to point out that I do still think that Colas, since he does have control over the souls and everything, I think he did like bring his bitch back because he was able to bring the Kraken back. All the terrible things he could unleash. He can do whatever he wants. So if it's in there, he can do it.
Like, so did he didn't want to play Primal of Death before. Like, and
Yeah, but
now
now he
he's just
wants
like,
to.
where are my minions?
Where are my minions? But I think because Delano's soul is pure, I don't think he's in the abyss.
I don't think is either. That's why I don't
So,
think we'll see Hissa, Liza. I don't think we'll see Valen or
no.
Delano again. I think they're all gone, gone,
Yeah, and I
which just
think
makes me
Ian's
sad
soul was also technically like pure, whatever
and
was
gone.
left of it. Yeah, so I don't think he's gonna come back. Like I don't think Colas can at least use them against Poppy in some way. Like,
However,
ooh, oh, I love it when you do
however,
this.
we also know, slightly unhinged, that Ethos, his soul was supposedly gone, gone, right? And so when he was let out of the Star Diamond, he was supposed to like be dead, dead, and like disappear. But we know a fate intervened, and now he rests with Mycella. So
Yeah,
could a fate have intervened for Valen, who we know is tied to Eddie's line? Like, could Thorn
yeah,
have done something?
very possible. Because the
So,
fates, they tend to blur the
but the
lines when it comes to their
balance,
own things.
Megan, the
Yeah, the
balance,
balance.
the balance.
Earthquake! And everybody's like, whoa!
I really
Mm,
hate the balance.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now, what do we know about future books? Will we ever learn the story of what it was like to raise Malik and Iris? And how did the Elysium change after putting Colas into the ground?
So the only thing
Ghost
Jennifer
stuff.
Armentrout has definitely confirmed is we are getting another book,
Thank God.
right? Which will be the conclusion to, and she is careful when she says this, Poppy and Castile's story.
Yeah.
So we know that's what the throne of Blood and Ash, right? Yeah. There has also been significant talk that there will be a Millie and Malik book coming that will tell their story. And I'm very intrigued by that because this tattoo he has on him, I need to know more about who it is, what it means. I think they're
Right.
heartmates. I think she knows they're heartmates. I think she's always known. I think she's been angry at him since he sold out Cora and Leopold in Lockswood. So,
Could that tattoo be a Holocrux in that way?
no, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Who knows?
I think it's something. I think he's more powerful than we know. I think he has power in him that he doesn't know yet. So, I think it's tied to that.
Could he somehow become an ancient?
Potentially. I think he's definitely, I would question if he's a god,
Yeah.
right? Just based on the line. So, like, there's something to that. I just don't know what. But I think this tattoo means something. And Poppy recognizes, like, the person on it, but she doesn't know who it is. But it looks familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very curious about that. We also know there are more books coming in the Fall of Ronan Wrath series. We do not know how many books.
Oh, that series was so good. I need more of those books. I need those.
The other thing I wonder is, will there be more books? Are there new realms that are created that we don't know about yet? That will take, and we'll learn about, like, the offshoots of this world.
Mm-hmm. How
Because
many worlds are there?
I think it's very possible at the end of this next book ends with, like, a happily ever after for Poppy and Castile and turmoil in other places that sets up future stories.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You have to.
So I think,
Let's keep the party going.
and I'm like, I hope so, because I would like certain characters to continue. So
Yes, absolutely. But how did the Elysium change after putting Colas into the ground?
why is Varys
I mean,
still alive?
right, yeah. It's like, did it change for the better? Mm,
I mean, one would think, right, with Colas being gone, but I think what's
yeah.
fascinating is we learned that there's still, like, what, a couple hundred gods that support him when he
Yeah,
comes
who are going to
back
be
in
causing a
Pensive.
lot of problems.
Well, I think they're all dead now. I think Castile killed them and built
Throwing of their
a
bodies.
throne of their bones. So,
Ooh,
I
yeah.
think they might be dead. But
It's
it
like a
makes
different kind
me,
of Game of Thrones.
yes, it makes me wonder if, there's how people who were loyal to Colas still existed after he was entombed and for so long.
Yes. Some people just don't understand.
Okay. How do the Blood and Ash and Flesh and Fire series tie into the Fall of Ruin and Wrath? So, as we mentioned earlier, we
Mm-hmm.
strongly believe this occurs after the Blood and Ash series timeline. We believe the Great War was started in the continents when the ancients woke up. There's been some speculation that, like, Thorn and Liz were the creators of this realm. We believe the realm already existed. We do think
Mm-hmm.
Thorn is the same person he is in the Blood and Ash series. Tied to the
He just
favor,
pops in.
pops in. We believe
Mm-hmm.
that one of the favorite, for whatever reason, and I think we're wildly guessing on reasons, the favor he ends up asking Poppy is to put him in stasis, specifically
Yeah.
in the continents, and to wipe his memories. So something happens. And so the question really is Liz, who we meet in the Fall of Ruin and Wrath, does she exist in the Blood and Ash timeline? And we don't know her yet, or she's someone we do know and we just haven't put it together.
What?
And
Oh,
that's why he says in that series that he lost his Nikora, and that's why his heart stopped beating. And
I have
so,
something I want to throw out there.
yeah,
What if Liz has a twin? And what if she is the daughter of Castile and Poppy?
that's real screwed up, isn't Thornton the great great grandpa?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
mean, I guess.
I didn't say it was a good.
I mean, I like it, but it's also
I mean,
like,
who knows? Maybe
well,
that's too
I
much
mean, it would
related.
make sense if you think about it, because she does have a lot of like intuition and foresight, which we believe in the book is the Venetia, and they just call it something different. She
And she
is,
has a lot of similarities to Poppy and
and
Seraphina
Sarah,
that we notice. Yeah. And Satoria. Like the
correct.
fidgety and like all this sorts of stuff. And it's like, is this just like a trait in like our young heroine like that we're gonna have in every book, or is this like a purposeful thing?
Yes.
Which
There's
I
something
think
to it.
yes. There's no
There's
such thing
something
as
to it.
coincidence. That's something that Jennifer Armentrout has taught us. There is no such thing as coincidence.
Nope.
Yeah.
Very true. Okay, why is Thorin's personality different in The Fall of Ronan and Wrath compared to the Primal Blood and Bone? And specifically, he's like more robotic, harder to read. That is because he doesn't have his Nikora, which is his heart, and he can't feel any compassion. So he can't feel emotions, really. So if you think about it, it's kind of similar to how Nyktos was in A Shadow in the Ember, a light in the flame, until he starts kind of falling for Sarah, and we believe like his heart grows back. But I think what's fascinating about all of it is he doesn't have any of that right now
Yeah.
in the first Fall of Ronan and Wrath book. So we hopefully will see that develop. And I think you see parts of it starting to, right? Because he chooses to ask Liz to do things with him versus forcing her to do it, and vice versa.
Hmm.
So, all right.
Which is a very interesting quality because that's
Yes.
very similar, almost in a way, of like how Nyktos behaved and how Castile behaved with their lovely ladies. We're like, I don't want to force you to do anything. I want you to want to do it, but please do it.
Please.
You
I
know,
want you to want me.
I want you to want me. Unlike how Colas went about his life of just saying, I want you, done.
To
You
be
know,
my pet.
to be my pet.
Yeah.
Mm.
So for those of you who want a really unhinged theory, if you've read The Fall
Yeah.
of Ronan and Wrath, there's King Euros. And
Mm.
we may have speculated today that he's someone that we know in the Blood and Ash world, because we do know he's
Mm-hmm.
alive during that timeline.
Yes.
And he might be someone we've discussed on this live session in great detail.
Should we say who it is?
Yeah, you want to?
I mean, it's just a theory. It's just a theory. We think it could be Kieran. Don't know. Because they do say that this series, or The Throne of Blood and Ash, is going to end with Castile and Poppy. Not about Kieran.
Where's Kieran go?
Where is he going to go? And he is now a Dominion. He is now going to rule things. And maybe
Yep.
now he is going to take over. I think it could be him. Okay, what was this question? Whoa. Okay.
Ooh, I like this.
This is fun. So, did any of the other books mention Nyktos as the Lisar? Does Lisar mean king? Because Lisar was listed in the pronunciation and term section. Could the Lisar be Kieran? Exactly, yep. Especially since Cass is the king of Atlantean people, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to make Kieran the king of the Wolven. Absolutely. So now you also have the question of, I mean, yes, so I do think Kieran is probably the king of the Wolven, for sure. And
Well, you
in
have to talk to his
regards,
dad.
oh, that's true. Well, maybe he wants to retire, fall. Just retire. It's fine. But yeah, could he, again, like in terms of like the next book and the Fall of Wrath and Ruin, could he be the Lisar, the king of the Wolven? And if that's the case, we haven't seen Wolven yet in that series
That we know of.
that we know of.
But we didn't see
So,
anyone shift in that series until the very end when a bunch of ravens turn into Thorn.
yeah, that's true. And yeah, perhaps that's why he might still have a Wolven as his mate.
I think Kieran deserves his own love story.
He does. I am here for that. I just also, you never know. It could be all three of them.
I mean, we wanted the joining. We got the joining. We didn't get enough details about the joining.
Yes.
I mean, so
yeah.
I think we were all secretly hoping for like another joining
Another joining.
situation.
Not
But now,
him unjoining.
now I just want Kieran to find the person that loves him the way Poppy and Castile love each other.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the three of them can equally love each other the same way. I think what Poppy and Castile have is too special, and I think Kieran will always feel left out. So I want more for him, and I
Yeah.
also want him
Don't
to
want
talk. I also think some
Yeah.
group therapy for that for that little threesome would be great.
Oh, good Lord. Yes, they need that so much. Definitely. Maybe Miss
Definitely.
Willa could run it.
Could you imagine? I
It would turn
mean,
into an orgy.
which
It would turn
also,
into like sex therapy. She'd be like, now, when you do the joining, you should really put this here to make it the most effective as possible.
can you imagine if we're correct in our theory that Miss Willa is in fact Valen's mother? Can you imagine when Castile finds out he's been reading his grandma's journal?
Hey, you know what?
Whew.
Grandma had a sex life too. How do you think you
I know.
got here?
I don't want to read it though,
Oh, no, I don't want to read about it. Mm-mm. I
but I just
don't.
think that could be some really hilarious scenes if that turns out to be true.
Yeah, he's just like, he connects the dots and then he's like, oh, oh, Grandma was naughty. Oh
And
no.
I
And just
liked it.
like, and I liked it. Ah. And he like starts like throwing up or something. I don't know. And
Yeah.
Poppy's like, what? What? That's fine.
That would be a
It's
real
very
awkward
funny.
Thanksgiving.
More trauma for him. Yes, a very awkward Thanksgiving, indeed. Yes, be like, Grandmama, I read your book. It was quite naughty.
I I used to like it. I don't know.
It's no longer in my top 10.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That's great. Oh, good
Well,
times.
everyone, this was a blast. Thank you so much for joining us. We will post this so anyone who missed it can listen to it as well. But unless you have any further questions, we're going to call it a night. And thank you all for joining us. And our episode on the Fall of Ruin and Wrath drops next week. So if you haven't listened to it, read it, catch up. You're going to love it.
Yes. And let us know if you think our theories are super unhinged. They probably are. But that's
Always.
what makes it fun.
All
Okay.
right. Bye, everyone.
All right. Good night. Bye.